What's going on, guys? Coach Rishabh from Elevate Fitness back at you with another video. Today we'll be talking about the triphasic muscle action and mainly what are the properties of each phase in this triphasic series and how we can train them. Every dynamic movement or exercise, from running to jumping to sprinting to even lifting weights, involves a triphasic muscle action. Tri meaning three phases that a muscle goes through while performing any movement. These phases are namely eccentric, isometric, and concentric. And although you might have heard about them sometime, what's going on inside the muscle is really important and can also help you take your game to the next level. 90% of what we do or what I see with people training is that they're only focusing on that concentric action. That's only harnessing 1/3 of the 33% of what we can. So specifically training and manipulating the other two phases will also help you improve your athleticism. Starting off with the eccentric phase. Now, every dynamic movement begins with this eccentric phase. What is this phase? That initial dip before you jump, the initial lowering before we sprint, or the initial lowering of the center of the mass of body before an athlete changes direction. That is this eccentric phase. What happens during this phase is basically the muscle is being lengthened. So imagine that I have this resistance band with me and this is like acting like a muscle. Anytime this band gets stretched, that muscle is getting stretched under tension, and that is basically what's happening during this eccentric phase. This phase also allows us to store kinetic energy that we can then use for powerful concentric contractions. Another great thing about training the eccentric phase is that also helps in training one of the strongest reflexes in the body, which is the stretch reflex. Like I mentioned earlier, ability to handle eccentric forces better will also help you to produce more force, so will help you in your concentric contractions. And we train this with heavy loads and slow tempo training, wherein movements are slightly more exaggerated and slowed down with heavy lifts and using compound exercises. And the idea is to basically handle and make our bodies more resilient and tolerable to absorbing more energy during this eccentric phase. Next up is isometrics. Now, this phase acts like an energy transfer station, so that kinetic energy that we developed in the eccentric phase, this phase will now start storing some potential energy, which can then be converted into kinetic energy for our concentric contractions. Another great thing about training isometrics is that they transfer very well to tendon health and connective tissue health, as those areas really respond well to slow controlled movements and they like slow control loading. Now, isometrics are characterized by the constant joint angle that the body is required to maintain. So remember the resistance band, when we are lengthening the band, that's basically a muscle being lengthened or going through the eccentric phase. Now, if I just maintain this position, there's still a lot of tension on the band, and that is basically my isometric phase. So for an experiment, just right now, sit down in a squat, get to your deepest position. From there, just push yourself up an inch off the ground and try to actively hold that position now by first squeezing your glutes and second squeezing the quads. What you're feeling right now is that isometric contraction. Even though it may feel like there's not a lot going on, these muscle fibers inside are actively contracting to maintain that position. Otherwise, gravity would just act on the body and we'd fall down. During this period, the brain also signals more muscle fibers to be recruited to perform that task. So it helps in also improving motor unit recruitment. And like again, even though it may feel like there's not a lot going on, the muscle fibers are actively contracting, and this phase is trainable as well. Before we move on to the concentric phase, let me just point out that the eccentric and isometric phases that I just mentioned, they also play a huge role in the stretch shortening cycle. We'll put more information on that out in future videos. For now, let's move on to the concentric phase. Now, this concentric phase is the shiny end. It's where all that energy that we've just built up, all that stuff that we've just been doing, all absorption of energy, now we're going to transfer that into explosive, powerful movement or contractions. And that's really what's happening with the concentric phase. This is also the phase which overcomes the resistance and load being placed on the muscle. And that's what we see with a lot of the stuff that we do inside the gym when we're lifting weights and stuff, to sort of, when we're squatting and we get back up, that's the reversal is the concentric phase. So also in the concentric phase, unlike the eccentric where the muscle is being lengthened, isometric, you hold that position. Concentric is where now the muscle is being shortened. So the muscle sort of acts like a rubber band. It has elastic properties. In the last two phases, whatever energy we've absorbed and stored is of no use if we can't use it into producing powerful contractions and into producing force rapidly. So that's why the concentric phase is as important as any of the other phases, which are as important as any of the other phases. And training them in a strength program is going to give you that edge. In athletic performance, that concentric phase is going to be all about expression of force, expression of power, and expression of intent. The difference between an athlete that does train triphasically and one that doesn't will basically be in the difference in the rate of force development during that concentric phase, and the former will always be more efficient and better, more capable of producing force rapidly. So now that we know a little bit about what's going on inside the muscle during these three phases and what these three phases are, how do we train for them? I'll just give you guys a couple of things without being too specific to the sport, but from a general guideline is: one, plyometrics, making use of jumping, bounding, skipping, all the low intensive, extensive, highly intensive, whatever you want to call it, plyometrics. And also second, strength training, using compound lifts, using tempos to sort of exaggerate either the eccentric phase or the isometric phase, which will help us develop the qualities of each of these phases, which will help us not only absorb more force, but also improve neural activation, improve that brain signaling, improve all the good stuff that happens inside that we are really not aware of. Again, going back to this whole thing, why is all of this important? Imagine you're doing a squat and imagine a vertical jump. Very similar movements. If I'm doing like a vertical jump, I'll dip down, I'll load that eccentric phase, and then I'll explode up, get up as high as I can, even if I'm doing like a testing, right? So even in a squat, I'm going back down. So when we are even in the gym, or even if you're doing these as plyometrics, you want to actively just think about those areas. Think about what's going to happen during those muscle. The muscle's being lengthened, but are you actively producing force even when it's being lengthened? That's really important. Again, doing things consciously inside the gym so that we can do them unconsciously out on the field. That's the whole purpose, and that's what's going to improve your athletic performance and take your game to the next level. That's it for this video. That's it for today's topic of triphasic muscle action. In future videos, we'll help you guys with programming triphasic. How do we implement it within a training block as well? What exercises we use, how we'll give you visual representations of what we use, how we work with athletes and what we train with them. And hopefully you enjoyed it. And don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Until next time, Coach Rishabh signing out.